Hi, I'm Maureen Paraventi, editor of Workplace Material Handling and Safety magazine. Safety culture is paramount in high hazard industries where the risks of accidents and disasters are significant. A strong safety culture emphasizes a proactive approach to safety, promoting awareness, accountability, and a collective commitment to preventing harm. It ensures the well-being of workers, protects the environment, and safeguards the reputation and sustainability of a business. Veriforce is committed to providing the tools and resources to help its customers strengthen their safety cultures. For a client perspective on all this, I'm talking today to Henry Goldstein. Henry is HSE Manager with Strathcona Resources Ltd. Henry, thanks for joining me.
Of course, it's a pleasure to be here, Maureen.
Now, can we start by having you tell us a little bit about your company and your role in it when it comes to the safety program?
Yeah, certainly. So Strathcona Resources is a privately held upstream oil and gas company. We have both conventional, heavy conventional, and thermal assets in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. We represent the confluence of seven amalgamations in the last 2 years with a bunch of legacy companies coming together to form what is now Strathcona Resources. We're producing about 150,000 BOE a day, with an appetite to continue to grow.
And Strathcona is undergoing a transformation at present.
Well, I think it's safe to say that whenever you bring together seven distinct cultures, each with their own operating, independent operating schemes and ideas and future plans, that there's going to be some conflict and some friction and some healthy tension between those companies. And what we're undergoing now is exactly as you say, a transformation as we find what is the Strathcona way and the Strathcona philosophy and the Strathcona ideology, all the way from the executive to the people pulling wrenches and twisting valves. So it is indeed transformational.
And what were some of the safety challenges that your company faced prior to working with Veriforce?
Well, I mean, a lot of the conversation focuses around culture. So, safety culture is always a reflection of, management ideals and is carried all the way down through middle management to the workers. And when you bring together seven different cultures, there's always a different way of doing things, from operational philosophy to individual work practices and procedures. But the real challenge has been around getting to find that Strathcona way. And one of the key barriers to safety, in my experience, has always been the "we've always done it that way" attitude. And what happens in any kind of acquisition or merger is you get one party who says, "No, our way is the way." And in our case, six other partners who say, "Well, no, our way is the way and you change." So finding the right way has been an interesting exercise in collaboration, consultation, and consensus. And sometimes not, because finding consensus among seven different people is not very easy sometimes. So it's been a real adventure.
That's a good way of putting it, adventure. Veriforce invests in a team of experts, and they are available to provide industry knowledge, best practices on how to solve complex problems, and also to offer technical expertise. Can you tell us about a time that a Veriforce subject matter expert helped you make a decision regarding your business, which resulted in a positive outcome?
Sure. I think one of the riskiest parts of our business is contractor management, specifically third-party contractors, where we don't have direct control over things like safety culture, policy, procedures. So it represents a lot of risk to our organization. Properly managing our contractors and working with our contractors is critical to ensure that we have effective safety on all of our operating sites. So when we're bringing in, whether it's a major organization or a mom and pop to help us execute our strategy, it's really important that we have assurance that those contractors are aligned with our philosophy, our safety expectations, and are able to execute according to our expectations. So, Veriforce had partnered with us very early to make sure that we were getting the right contractors in place to be able to execute our work. And about 6 months ago, we actually had a reconciliation where we said we want to make sure that we're elevating the bar, that we're getting the creme de la creme to come and partner with us to execute. And Veriforce was very successful in providing guidance around what questions we should be asking, how we should be framing them to our contractors, how we should be evaluating the answers and distilling, this large pool of vendors, suppliers, and third-party contractors so that we can pick those top-tier performers that will, reflect our values, perform our work safely, and do so in a cost-controlled manner to allow us to be operationally effective.
And Veriforce strives to support its clients by providing the tools and resources and expertise necessary to strengthen the safety culture at every level of a company. Since implementing the Veriforce supply chain risk and compliance management solution, how has the safety culture of Strathcona changed for the better? And what are the best practices that have helped your company effectively manage risk and ensure a safer workplace?
Yeah, so it's a really interesting two-part question. I would say, to take it in the order presented, we have effectively raised the bar. By leaning on Veriforce, we've been able to better understand the pool that we're working with and take a more targeted approach to make sure that we are cleaving the wheat from the chaff when it comes to contractors that we want to work with. So we have absolutely raised the bar and have reflected the Strathcona culture that we want to see into the contractor workforce. So that's been highly effective, and we've seen a demonstrable reduction in incidents, demonstrable reduction in injuries, and all the costs associated with that. So it's been a very positive outcome in terms of elevating both safety culture and safety performance. And I would like to acknowledge that throughout the process, the Veriforce staff that we work with have been highly engaged, very connected to the organization, asking all the questions, monitoring metrics, and offering suggestions and solutions on how we can better refine contractor management processes and really dial in that performance.
Well, you kind of just answered my next question, which was about Veriforce's dedicated customer service support team. And they address all kinds of product-specific questions and issues. And you alluded to this. Can you tell me about maybe a specific positive experience you've had with their customer support team since becoming a Veriforce client?
I would like to speak to one that we're looking to execute here in the fall, which is a contractor engagement session where we would literally bring in as many of the contractors in an operating area as possible into a conference-like forum where we would share Strathcona values and expectations and success stories and challenges with them, but more importantly, in an open setting, our contractors, our partners, our business partners would be able to share what they're working on, what's important, what are barriers for them, and this is all being facilitated by the Veriforce team. They're helping us with contractor lists and solutions as how they're using technological solutions to better do their job and are being a very value-added partner. So, just for content's sake, we're planning one up in our Cold Lake thermal and conventional heavy oil areas, where we're talking about having 300 to 400 contract representatives facilitated by Veriforce to partner with Strathcona to do better.
That's a lot of contractors or contractor representatives. It must be nice to have Veriforce smoothing the way and organizing that.
Yeah, they've certainly been a value-added partner, and I would say that this effort would be nigh impossible if they weren't willing to come to the table and help us facilitate it.
Now, Henry, every company is different, and Veriforce understands the importance of tailoring software to meet individual needs. What are some of the advantages you've experienced in using a contractor management solution that is customized to integrate into Strathcona's existing processes?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is it is an easy to use platform. It's highly intuitive for both us and for our business partners and contractors. It's easy to navigate. The solutions are relatively straightforward. Our contractors don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops in order to become compliant in the system and be able to execute work. So that's a huge win. And I would distill it down to say that one of my key strategic deliverables is to reduce bureaucracy and barriers, from project conception to project execution. And if our vendors and our third-party contractors feel confident using the system and engaging in the platform, then that reduces a ton of bureaucracy and a ton of frustration with the system and makes for a highly effective solution from concept execution. So the software and the technology is highly intuitive and very effective.
And flexible questionnaires are essential in providing hiring clients and contractors with the tools to assess and mitigate risk effectively. Veriforce updates and adjusts assessment criteria regularly to meet industry standards and the needs of their customers. How does Veriforce's questionnaire help you when making hiring decisions?
Yeah, so if it's not measured, it isn't managed, right? So managing data and making sure that we are getting effective feedback, timely feedback, helps us manage our business. The questionnaires have been a valuable component, a highly effective link in our chain of excellence in terms of engaging the people that we want to hear from, understanding what is working and what's not working, and is also a decent communication tool back to the people we mean to partner with in terms of what we're thinking and what we expect. So the questionnaires have been really helpful in becoming a more effective and streamlined business.
And many Veriforce clients either operate on a global scale or have plans to expand internationally. I don't know if this applies to Strathcona, but Veriforce has the expertise to address diverse safety regulations and compliance standards across multiple regions, and they can accommodate multiple languages and even customs. Given all that, how does Veriforce's global expertise help your business, or how might it help it in the future?
Well, while we don't have any plans for world domination yet, it's always important to plan for the future and to ensure that our business solutions are scalable and strategic. So thinking in a large term, global solution framework only makes our organization better because it helps us anticipate next opportunities and manage our current business like we were that big player. So systems are solutions, and that's what you're suggesting. We're certainly conscious of it.
Now, that's all I had to ask you about. Is there anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
No, I'd just like to thank Veriforce for the opportunity to point out all the good stuff that they're doing and how they've helped Strathcona become a more effective and streamlined business.
Henry Goldstein, HSE Manager with Strathcona Resources Ltd. Henry, thank you very much for talking with me today.
A pleasure indeed, Maureen. Best to you.
Stay ahead of the risk. Visit Veriforce.com to find out how the Veriforce supply chain risk and compliance management solution can give your company the tools to strengthen its safety culture. That's Veriforce.com.